Let's now walk through some examples where we are going to use the Fundamental Theorem of Calculus Part 2 to evaluate definite integrals. I'm going to start by reminding you what the Fundamental Theorem of Calculus Part 2 is. It tells us that if a function little f is continuous on the closed interval from a to b, then the integral from a to b of little f of t dt is capital F evaluated at b minus capital F evaluated at a, where capital F is the antiderivative of little f. Let's look at our first example. We are going to evaluate the given integral. In part A, we have the integral from 1 to 3 of x squared minus x plus 4 dx. The Fundamental Theorem of Calculus Part 2 tells us that this definite integral is equal to the antiderivative of each term in our integrand evaluated from 1 to 3. The antiderivative of x squared is x cubed over 3 minus x squared divided by 2 plus 4x, and we're going to evaluate this from x is equal to 1 to 3. What we do first is we let x be equal to 3, so this is 3 cubed over 3 minus 3 squared over 2 plus 4 times 3 minus doing the same thing, but letting now x be equal to 1. So this is 1 over 3 minus 1 over 2 plus 4 times 1. The biggest mistake I see students make when doing this is to not distribute this negative to all three terms. That's why I like to write it like this first, because it helps to not forget that. Let's see what we have now. 3 cubed divided by 3 is just 3 squared, which is 9. And then we have minus 9 over 2. We have a plus 12. And then we subtract off 1/3. And then we have minus a minus 1/2. So this is plus 1/2. And then minus 4. Let's add our constants first. 9 plus 12 minus 4. That is 5 plus 12, so that gives us 17. And then we have minus 9/2 plus 1/2. That gives us minus 8 over 2. And then we have minus 1/3. Minus 8 over 2 is just 4. So 17 minus 4 is 13. And then we have minus 1/3. Let's get a common denominator of 3. 3 times 13 is 39, so we have 39 minus 1. And this gives us a value of 38 divided by 3. And there's our answer. Remember that a definite integral is always equal to a number. Let's now look at part B. We are going to evaluate the integral from 3 to 9 of dx divided by x. This is the integral from 3 to 9 of 1 over x dx. And you just have to have memorized that the integral of 1 over x is the natural log of the absolute value of x, and we're going to evaluate that from 3 to 9. Since 3 and 9 are positive, we can drop the absolute value, and this is just equal to the natural log of 9 minus the natural log of 3. We can simplify this by remembering that the natural log of a minus the natural log of b is equal to the natural log of a divided by b. So this becomes the natural log of 9 divided by 3, which gives us an answer of natural log 3. Now let's look at part C. In part C, we have the integral from pi over 3 to pi of sine theta d theta. This is going to be the antiderivative of sine theta, which is minus cosine theta. And we're going to evaluate this from pi over 3 to pi. This gives us minus cosine of pi minus cosine of pi over 3. You just have to be careful with negative signs there. The cosine of pi is equal to minus 1. So we have minus 1. And then our two negatives becomes a positive. And cosine of pi over 3, that is equal to 1/2. I always remember this by thinking that pi over 3 is 60 degrees, and cosine is the horizontal component of the triangle, and it's smaller, so it has to be 1/2 instead of root 3 over 2. This gives us an answer of 1 plus 1/2, which is equal to 3/2. Now we have one last example. I wanted to include this because this trips students up all the time, and it is so easy to do this calculation wrong. We're asked to find out what is wrong with the following calculation. Let's walk through this. If we have the integral from minus 1 to 2 of 1 over x squared dx, this is just the integral from minus 1 to 2 of x to the minus 2 dx. We can then write down the antiderivative. We're going to add 1 and subtract by what we get. And we're going to evaluate this from minus 1 to 2. So that's exactly what that middle step showed. This then is minus 1 over x from minus 1 to 2. This is minus 1 over 2 minus a minus 1 over minus 1. And this gives us a minus 1/2 minus 1, which is minus 3/2. So we got an answer exactly like they did. So now we have to think about what's wrong with what we did. Well, we can think about this in two ways. Notice that our answer is less than 0. Let's think about this. If we look back at the function that we are integrating, it is 1 over x squared. 1 over x squared is greater than 0. So the area under this curve should be positive. But it's not. We got that it was negative. So that tells us that we're definitely doing something wrong. What we have to do is go back to the conditions on the fundamental theorem of calculus. Let's go back up at the top and let's look at this. Our condition told us that f has to be continuous on the closed interval in order for us to use this theorem. Notice down here with our function that it is undefined when x is equal to 0. And 0 is in the interval from minus 1 to 2. So we can't use the fundamental theorem of calculus to evaluate this integral. And that's why our answer is wrong. If you plan on continuing on and studying Calculus 2, you'll see how to evaluate integrals just like this.
If this video has been helpful to you, please consider subscribing to my channel. Keep believing in yourself and have a great rest of your day.